In this video you will learn how to configure an HRP200 remote control panel, how to configure it to control an ENG camcorder by IP, by LAN connection. So for that reason we have here the RP200, and to check if it's really working we also have an ENG camcorder that can be controlled by IP. In this case we have an HRP270 handheld camcorder, so the LAN connector is at the back, cable is already connected. Also connected is the SDI output to control the video and just power supply. This camera also needs some configuration, but that's for another video. On the other side here we have already the RP200, and as you can see it's already working together with the HRP270. At this moment I'm controlling the iris, which is working fine. It means it was already configured to work together with the camera at this moment, but this is not a standard configuration, it's just to show how it works. When you connect this ROP panel to an ENG style camera, almost all buttons will work, but not every button, because some functions are really only for studio camera connection, when a studio camera is connected. So but things like bars, white balance, black balance will work, auto setup will not work, shutter of course will work, detail off, on, knee, skin detail, matrix is always on, the memories will work, the RB gain and RB blacks will nicely work, also the detail button. Here we see the iris, I showed already the iris value. I also have an auto and a relative function. I also can change the pedestal by rotating as usual. I can even connect more cameras because I can change this camera number. Not at this moment because there is only one camera connected. Then the character button will, when I push shortly, all characters from the viewfinder will appear on the SDI output. And if I do a long push, I can even open the camera menu and see and change all camera settings from a distance. I do a long push again to close this menu. Also, I can see status of ND filter. CC filters are not present, that's why it stays black. I can zoom from a distance, which I'm doing now. I can focus from here with the up down buttons. I can set autofocus on off. Frame is not active on this camera. And now we are back on iris. Of course I can also change the gain if I want. Now I see the pedestal, back to iris. Anyway, today's lesson is to learn you how to configure this panel to work over IP. That's why we first gonna reset it to 0, and to reset it, to initialize this unit, it has an internal setup menu which I can open by pushing the shift button together with up down for about 3 seconds. Now I'm in the internal setup menu, and this number will tell me where in the setup menu I am. As you can see, each number has a specific meaning, and initializing is number 16. So I want to initialize this unit, we need to go to number 16. I increase the number by just pushing select. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, this lights up and this becomes 0 again. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 16. Yes, then you have a no. If I push yes and execute, the unit will be initialized, and of course I will lose my connection with the camera for a time, but even after it comes back, all the rest will stay dark. There is no more lighted button or whatever. It means the unit is working but has no connection to another unit. So we need to start from 0. To do so, to program this little machine, to configure it, we need a little program, which is the ROP setup software. This software, by the way, you can find on our website. So just going to the PAS website, and then if you tick the software download button, then integrated camera, studio cameras, mixers, and then go down, we will find in the list the HRP200. There it is. So you find the firmware, but if I click on it, I will also find, together with the firmware, I will find the setup software. We will not wait for that since I downloaded it already. There it is, ROP setup software. Anyway, I downloaded here, and here it is, ROP setup software. I will launch it. Yes, we trust Panasonic. There we go. And this is the setup software. I will move it a little bit to the left, and then we can also see the ROP. That's nice. So this software has several pages. First one is configuration page. We come back to it later. The camera list, that is what we need. User authentication. Each ENG camera has a login and a password. We need to know that to connect the ROP to it. And you have the ROP list. We can have several ROP panels. We have only one, and since we initialized it, it comes back to its basic IP address, which is also on my paper. So basically the only IP address I need to know is that one of the camera, and I also will need to know the login and the password of the camera. Okay, a nice function. If it doesn't work, if you cannot configure this unit, a nice function to check if everything is well connected is just this connection check. If you click on that, you will see on the unit tally will blink green, tally call button. If it does not blink, it means the PC has no connection with ROP to talk from the ROP program to program the unit. So everything is connected simply by 3 network cables and a very modest small network switch. Okay, let's first set our camera. So the 270 we want to control by IP, so definitely we have to set IP mode. Then this is not a CCU, it's not a remote camera, but it's a camcorder. Okay, we select camcorder. Since we have only one camera, we will select it as camera 1. There also we have to set type, it's camcorder, and we will control by IP. Okay. The IP address, by coincidence, it's already the IP address that is in the camera. And one thing we need to change, because it's a camcorder, is the control port. So for ENG camcorders, this is 49152. Then we push the set button, and this data will be sent to the ROP. Yes, we want to reboot, so you will see the unit will reboot itself and come up again after some seconds when the data has been exchanged. There it is. Still, everything is dark except this one is red blinking. It means this unit detects the camera already, but it cannot talk with it really because it doesn't know the login and the password of the camera, so it stopped at the interface. So next step is simply going to the authentication page and put in the password of the camera. To do this, we need to know the old username and old password of the ROP. Well, it's not old because we initialized it. It's the standard password and login. So the login old username is admin. The new username is guest. You can find these names in the operating instructions of the camera. Then the old password was 12345, and the new password becomes P2 guest. We repeat, P2 guest, and then set. Again, the unit will reboot, but if all goes well, it should now be working again. Yes, it works again. So there is one thing, or there are several things lost in the configuration which we did not set yet. One of them is the tally. The tally can be sent to the camera. So now we return to the configuration screen. The tally we can send through the camera to the camera by IP, but we need to say it. So tally input camera 1, and normally we will use the tally input connector, which is also the preview input connector at the back of the panel, and say yes, we want to use that one. Yes, we agree. Okay. So now if we send the tally command to the back of this unit, there is the tally input connector. It is pin 3 and 4. We need to, it's just dry contact, and then the tally will go through by IP to the camera, and the front and the rear LED, tally LED, will be lit. There's another thing we lost. You remember I showed you the RB pedestal. It's not working anymore because initially it will work as a flare command. So we can set it back to pedestal by the setup menu. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. It says flare. I just say pedestal and execute. Now we exit the setup menu, and now it will work again as pedestal. We can also do this, by the way, if you prefer this more, by the software. So this has the same function here, flare pedestal. Okay, thank you for your time.